Good. Quarter of 7. That's better than usual.
15 minutes early.
15 minutes early, according to Daniela. I have so much to say today. I just and catching up and corrections and all kinds of cool stuff that I want to share. And really, I think more than anything is combining the like making the connection between the dots because it, there's so much information pouring out but very little information that tries to give you the big picture. For example, where does Tartaria come into this? You know, our concept of history, our concept of business, our concept of money, our concept of education, our concept of like I said, history. Uh, Thank you. Yeah, I put my friend Shelby said that we help people on this channel, and if you want to donate to real estate uh our real estate fund, we would be delighted. We could use all the help possible. Hey, Jimmy Johns. But no pressure. I mean, if you feel like the channel's giving you something, that's great. We don't get paid by YouTube or X or any of those people yet. I think eventually we will, but we've been kind of, when I think about it, I've been kind of on the run since I got, see if I'm on the, since I got canceled at the Department of Education, had my YouTube channel taken, and now I'm facing a kind of a real estate thing. But these are opportunities when you hit a barrier in your life, when something quote goes wrong. That means, in my opinion, that this descent, this slight dip, will lead to a greater uh, aliyah, a greater ascendancy. And when, like today, I asked, I'm just saying this so that I think this should carry over into all of our lives. I asked the lender today, I said, could you remove some of these interest rates that you're charging me for late fees and all this other stuff? And he said no. And I just felt like, yes, that's so great. Now, why would I think that? And this is just based on experience. When somebody says to me, no, that can't be done, it's no good, whatever it is, it, usually, I mean, almost 100%, I know that guy is going to really regret that, and he's going to change his mind, and he's going to do the right thing. That's how I think this is also part of the manifestation process. That no is just yes in a slightly muffled form, and in a hidden form. And it says in Chassidus that God gives us challenges, He gives us difficulties, because these are concealed blessings that are so powerful they can't be given on the side of easy chesed. Really, is the translation. It can't just be like, okay, you won the lottery. The creepazoids win the lottery, by the way. Jeffrey Epstein and those kind of people, they're the ones who win the lottery. So much is being revealed, and if you put the dots together now, it is just fantastic. They're saying that Bitcoin was created as a surveillance method. And Tether, I mean, things are starting to appear that we've been saying for a long time. And I also want to thank my friend Nancy and Sandy Marecki with a possible date. We don't do dates here. We don't like dates. However, there is a possibility. Band on the run, right? Yeah. Hey, Jimmy Johns. Yeah, again, Wade, you're the best, man. By the way, just a correction. Um, Brian Brian's coffee is not spiritualbean.com. There's another website that is. It is spiritualbeingcoffee.com.
Yeah, I already knew that.
You knew that? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that, but Brian corrected me today. I had a nice conversation with Brian, but check out his website, great coffee, and he told me that he's about to unveil premiere a new coffee called New Morning after the song. I was so touched that he wants to do that. But Brian reminded me that we escaped the matrix kind of at the same time. I'm not saying that we're totally out. I'm still dealing with this lender and the land situation, but we're getting closer and closer, in my opinion, to leaving the matrix. And I forgot for the second day in a row to get the Jewish calendar, but there's so much information right now coming out. If you want to give to us, give to Danielle, she'll take care of it and hold it on the side, right, baby?
Yeah.
You hold it on the side for just for real estate.
Yeah,
Okay, she says just for real estate because we want to stay where we are. We're finishing the floor upstairs. I got to spend all day working on the floor today, and it was a great opportunity. Okay, so I'm going to get right into it because there's so much tremendous information coming out now, and I want to work this off the back of what we were discussing last night with the Charlie Freak expose. He was talking about how it's a lot worse than we think of it. We're watching Nosferatu, and we're going to be watching some other videos movies that Charlie mentioned out of respect and interest. But the point being that this is far worse than, well, I mean, I'm okay. So I'm going to try to stay somewhat focused, but the information coming out, the level of fraud, the level of evil. Just today, Daniela said to me that she heard a report or read a report or was we look at the news all the time. That's our thing. When we sit down, which is not often, we don't always sit down, but we do sit down. We're online. We're on X. We're looking at things. But she saw a post today that said drinking. This is unbelievable. Excuse me. I swallowed some. I was eating honey before. I had some honey. It's dangerous to talk when you're eating or drinking. And it went down the wrong tubes. So I've been coughing all afternoon. She saw a report online, and this breaks my heart. This report said that drinking water from a plastic container is worse and will kill you. 90% worse than cancer. It will kill you faster. Drinking water from a plastic container will kill you faster than cancer. This is in direct alignment with what Charlie Freak was saying. The essence of this evil is far worse. We got the chemtrails, we got the fluoridated water, the American Dental Society. Remember my father just laughing at me because I was like, Dad, it has to have fluoride in it. I remember asking the dentist, are you going to put fluoride on my teeth? It is a poison. And this is the level of evil we are dealing with. We're not dealing with just the fraud. The level of fraud comes from these evil Canaanite reptilians who fell to earth in the book of Genesis. It talks about the Nephilim, those who fell. So with the fallen angels, we would think, they were just like giants. You made it 71 years. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm gonna take over this Venmo stuff, but if you want to give, we would appreciate it. But make sure we know your name. I want to make a list. I want to know, and that way, if you do whatever I want to be able to open up the land at some point. But anyway, so that's that's just something. Okay, so um, let's go back to the chats. Okay, it made it 71 years. Yes, quite remarkable. But the level of evil, the level of fraud, like so. Just continuing off of yesterday's video, and Brian said to me, he said, and this was something I didn't notice. He said the children of these reptilians, they have to be killed because they are so vicious and so dangerous. I didn't really get that. I wasn't conscious of that particular aspect of the whole thing, but it was a monumental discussion, and I compliment Charlie Freak for having the gumption to share. We don't think of you as a nutter, as Charlie puts it, but that's besides the point. Also, I just hats off to John Dowling and Big Daddy and all the people that are in kind of line. Susan Kokinda for sure just does a marvelous job. Don't forget these. Now, I did say I'm going to just bounce back for 1 second. I just want to correct this, that this offer of buy two get one free is limited to you can only do 5 of them, and this comes directly from Dr. Stacy. So this is not, if you're just joining, this would not be open to you. But if you are already a brand partner in our LifeWave adventure, call Dr. Stacy and tell her you want to get to you have until the 10th of April. This is only coming from Dr. Stacy. I didn't understand this. So if you call Dr. Stacy, say you want to get 5, buy one get one, buy 2 get 1 free of X39. That's her offer. It's not a company-wide offer. So if you're just ordering fresh, this would not be. I don't know. I mean, maybe if you talk to Dr. Stacy and you order, if you just join and you say, "Could I do this?" She might figure out a way to do that. I don't know. But I just want to correct that point. Okay, let's. I live in the Boise. 8 chemtrails are nonstop today. Up here too. Yeah, we're getting weird mists. Just think of how this is, and it's not like, well, it's the Democrats. It's like this is such, like, the depths of the evil that Charlie describes. I went walking with Daniela today, and the rock formations out here are just incredible. But I'm thinking, are these all Tartarian ruins? Was this part of the mud floods, and they vibrated the earth? And because the rock formations out here are really weird. It's not like you can't tell me this was under the ocean, and it's just because they're like rocks that just like sit on top of other rocks in very unnatural ways. So I just don't believe it. Charlie Freak's optimism that the reptilians are gone. Thank you, Nancy. And I want to get back to Nancy's. I assume that's Nancy S. Nancy Page. I want to make a comment about a date that I discussed about the 120-day election and Jassara. New Morning Coffee. What a great honor and tribute. It's just amazing. Okay. I wish you would just fall in getting tired of this. Yeah, that's true. However, being part of this, I know it sounds weird, but I still think it's a tremendous opportunity to rise up and manifest despite the darkness. But Charlie Freak is saying they've eliminated these people. I suspect that a lot of the tunnels that they're going to around this Strait of Trump, where they have ground invasions and they're going into tunnels, that this is more involvement with those creatures, that they are wiping out the last remnants of the Cain, of the descendants of Cain and Abel. But that they are far, according to Charlie, they're not just like some bad dudes. These are like demonic, highly powerful. Remember, they fell to earth. They were called giants. Now, I don't know if the Torah just sort of whitewashes the whole thing. They certainly don't whitewash their hatred of those who worship Baal and Molech. That's in I think it's in Leviticus. They say don't pass your children through the fire. And when I mentioned it to people in my community, they were like, "Oh yeah, that was something they did a long time ago. Yeah, they used to stand on coals with their children, and this kind of thing." I'm like, no, this is not what we're talking about here. This is Old Testament stuff. This is do not worship Baal. It's far worse than we can imagine, according to Charlie. And I if you look at the Dumbs channel on Telegram, it seems pretty clear that there's a force. These movies, predictive programming, right? They show you, like in Stranger Things, the upside down is they show you what these creatures, I think those are like representations of what those creatures are really like. This is not like just some bad dudes, man, on motorcycles or something, or or whatever. The world is rising up. That's the other thing. People are up in arms in England over some little girls got attacked by Muslims, and the whole country is rising up. France is rising up. They're going to deport. I think Hungary. I don't know about Hungary. I don't think Hungary. I'm not sure, but let me just show you some of these posts. But yeah, okay. So if you want to buy two and get one free, get a hold of Dr. Stacy. She knows the program. That's beyond my pay grade. And if you want to, if you feel inclined and you want to donate some real estate money to our thing, and in the hopes that eventually we'll have a learning community up here and you can come join us, within reason. I mean, we really value our privacy up here. It's exquisite. But I am thinking, I am in the process of selling off one of the lots that I bought. So we're thinking about that. And it also, I realized today, I could think of this as a really horrible experience, but I'm thinking to myself, well, look at this. Look at me, man. I'm really like a real estate developer now. I bought this property, and I'm up against the ropes because I didn't pay my mortgage for a while. And now I'm rising to the occasion. I'm like, okay, man, let's, I mean, this is like what a real estate dude does. I'll sell the lower half of my property and pay off the debt, and I'll be free and clear. This is, people have been telling me I should have been doing this a long time ago, but it really makes me, it's not like I feel like, oh, it's the end of it. What am I going to do? No, this is an opportunity for me to rise to a higher level. Right? A higher level as a man of this world. I invested in, I got some XRP. I had silver. I traded the silver for the land, whatever. It's like, this is the real deal stuff. It's not like I'm sitting there waiting to get my, waiting to put in another year at the Department of Education so I get my pension, a higher pension, this like, predictive nonsense that didn't work out anyway because they just told me to get lost because I wouldn't get vaccinated. All right. Hey, Matt Myers. Good to see you and everybody else. I heard Iran soldiers will remove us citizens from family colonists. I don't know what that is. That it just, there's a lot of fear out there. I thought the elections had to be within. Yes. So that's the thing that I thought. So Nancy was saying that the elections, that once the republic is established, the White Hats will give us 120 days, and the interim republic. Let me put out the so people can join while I'm speaking about this. Just go to the website and join. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm so I need to really edit this stuff. But you can join the Republic for USA. Let me just slow that down. It just drives me nuts how fast it moves. Okay, let's go up. So here's what I thought. You have to the White Hats or President Trump or the good guys give us 120 days to prepare for the Jassara elections and to prepare for Jassara and Nassara. So I thought to myself, well, it can't be now because July 4th is too close. It's too close now. It's April, May, June, July. It could be July 4th, but it would have to happen in the next couple of days, and I don't see that happening. However, on July 4th, if they announce the Jassara elections on July 4th, according to my limited ability to calculate, like I said, I'm a recovering math teacher, so I can't really do simple math. So John Murphy, this is interesting. Giants covering megalithic structures. Reptilians cracked Earth's dome, lowering pressure. How many acres and how much money? How many acres? I'm not sure what you're asking for. Original people who stole the land 400 years ago. Right. Okay. So here's my calculations, and check me on my math. If they were to announce Jassara elections on July 4th, right? I'm thinking. So that's July, the whole month of July 4th, right? 30 days, July, August, September, October, that's 120 days. And what would be at the end of 120 days if it was announced on July 4th? It would be November 4th or 5th or whatever election day is. That would be, and this is not my thought. This is Nancy and Sandy Marecki's thought, that it could possibly be that on July 4th, at the celebration, the great celebration of 250 years of the United States for America, although we were captured, it could be a freedom time. It just seems like everything is gearing up towards us achieving freedom, taking out the deep state in Iran. This was the heart of darkness. They were threatening civilization for 40 years, and now they're being taken out. What does it look like to take out this level of evil? Well, it looks like what Gene Decode would say. You can't imagine what our soldiers have to put up with. The only way we're able to achieve anything against these very powerful descendants of Cain is because there are more of us than there are of them, and that as we proceed, there are even less of them. So we have. I'm just guessing. I mean, I've never been faced with anything that monstrous that I remember. I did have nightmares, so it is possible that I did encounter these forces in some kind of other dimensional or other lifetime type place. So I want to now, and I explained about spiritualbeingcoffee.com. I explained about the X39. You really have to go through Dr. Stacy on that one. Let me just put up that contact information before I go into the hardcore news. Yeah, you can contact Dr. Stacy. Tell her you want to buy two get one free. I think that's coming from her. So you could ask her, and if you want to join, just ask her. Just ask Dr. Stacy. She's very good. She won't waste your time. She's quick. She's easy. She's in. She's out. She's not like me. I don't do short business. I don't like to do short business with anyone. I'm not that. Because whatever. All right, that's just me. So okay. So here. So that's Republic. Join the Republic for USA. We're waiting for that time, but it could be that July 4th it would be mentioned that we have 120 days, and that would come out on November 5th, which is election day. Pretty cool, right? This is the flag of the Republic. We are coming back to it. I got an interesting note from one of my fellow Mojave County Republic people, and he said we probably should start letting the government know that they're soon to be replaced by the Republic. I'm not sure. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not sure how that would go over, but it's an interesting thought. Okay, let's go to the thought stream now. I think I've gotten most of the things out of the way. Let's do it. Let's rock this. Okay, these were two of the posts that I found most compelling for today. Remember, yesterday's was Charlie Freak's post. This is about the Reptilians and Tartaria. I think these are two of the basic foundational understandings, the thematic, the big picture things that most podcasters don't mention, or they do mention to some degree, but this must be woven into the narrative in order for it to be accurate, because you can't ignore these. These are like the elephant in the room. You cannot stole or found. What's this? Stole or found, right? Hey, who's this? Anton. Hey, Anton. How much land parcel are you selling? I'm selling 40 acres. I'm asking 65,000. That's what I'd like to get for it. It's it's in a canyon. I happen to love the land out here, but yeah, I and if somebody was serious, I might be interested in selling more than that. But yeah, that's basically what I'm selling right now. 40 acres for 65,000. Okay, so let's get to this. I think this is an up and coming area, by the way, because Carter 11 runs right in that. That's the big highway that's closest to us. We're also very close to I-40, and we're about 25 miles from Kingman, Arizona, which is another up and coming cool town. I love Kingman because it's like a no nonsense, trucks only, no cars allowed. You have to have a long beard and like a biker's shirt on and lots of tattoos, and you need to have a hat that has an American flag on it. That's Kingman, and you could actually. I haven't seen not many people. I haven't noticed lately people really carrying their weapons around.
Let's see the last one.
I do not recommend going to the corporate government and telling them anything. Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, I agree, Nancy. I'm not going to let them do it. I don't. The guys I'm dealing with, they have this conception. Yeah. I don't. Listen. I'm not going to be doing that. Don't worry. But I agree with you, Nancy. Let it evolve naturally. Let it all evolve naturally. So I want to put these two posts are my most interesting for the day. The Reptilians. And it's so small. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Let's see if I can enlarge it. No, maybe I can here. Okay, there we go. The reptilians and other entities which are manipulating our world by possessing human bodies operating in frequencies between the third and fourth densities. These are referred to as hidden spaces and planes unknown to man. In the ancient emerald tablets, they refer to this between world as the lower fourth dimension. It is from here that they police our vibrational prison, the matrix, and seek to addict and restrict us to the dense physical senses. This world was once far less dense than it is today, and the fall down the frequencies caused by the manipulation of incarnate consciousness and DNA infiltration has made it much more difficult to maintain a multidimensional connection while in physical form. So this is a kind of follow-up to the Charlie Freak thing, that these creeps are policing our world through frequency, through they're hiding in a slightly higher density than we are privy to at the moment, because they have possibly compromised our DNA and the like through vaccines. I mean, these creeps had this huge campaign to destroy humanity or destroy our DNA and enslave us as artificial intelligence through 5G towers and everything else, and chemtrails and fluoride and poison food. But they're being exposed by the Q force. So they little by little, the information that we were privy to is being filtered through the minds of conscious humanity. Okay, so that post, you can't discuss what's going on. Now, I love Susan Kokinda because she's focused, and she says it's all about the British Empire, and there's a lot of truth to that, because the British Empire is the outward manifestation of these demonic forces that operate under the Vatican, under Israel, under Iran, under Ukraine, under Haiti, under Venezuela. These creeps and their transportation methods that are underground, they are everywhere. And this is a multi-front battle. This is a war for the survival of our DNA and for the elevation of our frequency, which I think to me, like, I don't consider myself like a super, like, I do feel like I'm always ahead of other people by a decade or two. That has been proven out in my lifetime pretty consistently. However, I don't consider myself to be, you know, like a guru. Like, it's sort of a joke to me. But however, it's clear to me that we are operating, or that I am operating personally, and I'm sure you are as well, on a much higher level than you were 5 years ago when this whole thing really opened up. When the egg, remember, you have to break an egg to make an omelet. When the eggshell broke around the COVID thing, this all goes back to COVID. Divik, which is Divik backwards, meaning like that's a possessed being in the Yiddish world. Okay, so the other post that, and I want to connect the dots between this and Bitcoin and XRP and Iran, all these things. It's all connected. So Tartaria was the millennial reign. Everything you thought you knew is a lie. We're in the short season now. The hidden truth is coming. Prepare yourself. The veil is lifting. And that's what I sense. And the discussion and the delta, the change in this community and what we focus on is stunning. it's stunning how we've gone from one thing to the next. Now here, okay, so I'm just gonna keep rolling with some of these information posts that I think are incredible. Germany wakes up as AfD's Alice Weidel drops the bomb. Within 100 days, we will close the borders, cut all migrant subsidies, and will launch the largest deportation in history. After years of no-go hellholes, the migrant invasion ends now. Remigration or death. I mean, this is staggering. This is staggering, a staggering end. CIA just casually admitted that Bitcoin is their surveillance tool. CIA General Counsel Michael Ellis admitted Bitcoin isn't truly anonymous. It's a tool we use for intel gathering. Russia called it CIA-controlled weapon. Bitcoin patents reveal it was designed by NSA, no such agency, National Security Agency. China, do you want to see more? I mean, this is pretty interesting post. Let's look at this whole thing, because these is the kind of revelations that are coming to the forefront of our world now, because Bitcoin is a scam. It doesn't work. It's slow and all that stuff. Let's go back. Let me go back to this and go to the, let's see. Here we go. Okay. So let me enlarge this. Let me go to the show more. Okay. Then I'm going to go back here. See, everything in the matrix, which I consider restream, takes many steps. And it doesn't have to be this way. Okay. So let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go. This is just, step after step, just to share with you guys. Okay, so CIA just casually admitted Bitcoin. Just said, okay, we got that. They let it explode on purpose. Why do you think Tether printed endless United States dollar tokens with no audit for a decade and continues without any scrutiny? This is just like the fiat printing. They just shifted from fiat to Tether. Total transparency for the deep state. That's why they crucified. I mean, it's a strong word, but they crucified Ripple with endless lawsuits and attack. XRPL is the real power shift. Private transactions, ZK privacy for you, audibility when needed, compliance without mass spying, built for a post-surveillance world. DNA on-chain is building a zero-knowledge privacy system for decentralized identity on the XRP ledger. Private money, private identity, Bitcoin, CIA perfect asset, XRP freedom. Now, Africa, Europe, Asia, BRICS are adapting XRP corridors into their economy for a true neutral bridge asset. Your decentralized crypto was never yours. It was always marketed for control and surveillance. They're talking about Bitcoin. Okay, this is a stunning thing to see. We all knew this. The digital asset investors have been talking about this for years. Tether is a scam. Bitcoin is a scam. It's backed by the same thing that backs fiat currency. Nothing. Okay, let's go back to this thought stream. Continuing with this. Go back to here again. We have to do a million steps. Okay, here we go. Okay, so they admitted that Bitcoin is a tool of the CIA. Britain's worst nightmare, 3 nuclear powers meet in Moscow, and they don't include Britain. Iran shocked. 52nd Infantry Division stormed the Hormuz sea mines factory. You can imagine what those sea mines are about. Every agent involved in the FBI's illegal raid on Mar-a-Lago has been fired and had their pensions stripped. They knew the risks when they volunteered to break the law. Okay, there are some other just stunning posts that I want to highlight. Germany, right? Tartaria, the Reptilians, Rob Cunningham, very important share. If I was a monetary king, I'd address these areas first: energy, monetary, governance, technology. This is very, very good. Universal high income. This is where we're going. We're all going to have lots of money. They're just, this is the end stages. Clarity Act is a done deal. Banks and crypto companies have reached a deal. More details late April. Crypto regulatory clarity will be finally implemented in 2026. But XRP doesn't need the Clarity Act. Now, this is okay. I want to introduce this before I start. I'm going to have to go back anyway. This is putting the dots together. It goes like this, right? This is putting the dots together. This is Brad Garlinghouse talking about like the conspiracy against XRP. Like we didn't know this. And you still see it. You still see it on X. There are people saying XRP it'll never be any value. It'll maybe be $1.50. I'm like, are you kidding me? You guys have done everything to make sure that Bitcoin is the coin of the future. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. No way is Bitcoin going to be anything but an attempt and a flop. And it's, anyway, I sold it a long time ago. I bought Bitcoin. People said, "You're buying crypto?" Back in the day when I bought Bitcoin, people who knew me were like, "Elliot, it's so risky." What's risky is whatever. Okay, having a lot of fiat. Okay, so here we go. Let's go back to the thought stream. I want to share this video but I want you to think about everything that I just presented. Reptilians, the evil beyond our understanding. Charlie Freak said that people like Hillary are victims, that they have to give up people in their family, all these for fame and fortune. And what he's implying is that it wasn't necessarily voluntary. It wasn't that, I really want to be famous, so I'm going to offer off my mother. That's what these people do, or my child. It's that they were forced to do this. That's what Charlie's saying, that we should feel sorry for these people. I mean, this is a whole different context, a whole different content of our reality. And putting these giant pieces together, Tartaria, Reptilians, Nephilim, those fallen, 120-day lead up to the elections, to Jassara, to unlimited money that we're having, to all these things. Putting the dots together. So this is the next clip I'm going to show you. Think about how this puts all the dots together in terms of XRP, because XRP is the future. XRP is the quantum financial system. XRP is money that can't be infiltrated and spied on and interest to death and make us debt slaves. We will be free to transact the way we want to do it, and we'll have tons of money. This whole scarcity thing is made up. It's so beautiful. This is such a beautiful thing to be alive. That's when the lender says, "No way I'm going to take off this interest rates." I just know that says to me, he's going down, man. That guy doesn't know what's going on. He's clueless. He just said he just said to me, "No way I'm going to," it's like, God, God should, I mean, at this point in history, man, to make a declaration like that is, in my mind, it's in terms of like hashgacha pratis, in terms of divine providence, it's a dangerous move, and it will backfire. All these things will backfire. Just like if you're looking at, they're talking about Germany, they're going to deport these creeps. they're going to all get deported or they're so mad killing them. If you don't leave, we're going to kill you. England is going through that too. They're all going through this. All of there was another post saying that the real drag on our economy could be the European. We got millions we got soldiers in Germany. We got soldiers in Japan. Why? It's just a scam. I want to show you one other post before I go to this thing with Brad Garlinghouse. I want to show you one other post that I think is quite monumental. Let me just see if I can find it quickly. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, that's the post I want to show. But there was another one. Nothing is. Oh, this is beautiful. I want to get to that also. XRP Tokyo is going live tomorrow. Spiritual beginners, tarot cards, and spiritually advanced, cup of coffee and a cigarette. Okay, Charles Schwab, watch the water. Here it is. Okay, this is the video I want to show. I'm going to key it up, but I'm just gonna let me just share the content here before I key it up. This is okay. Let's do it like this. This is police raided an office running 49 million fake accounts. They seized 1,200 SIM boxes and 40,000 active SIM cards linked to 80 plus countries. Let me read that again. Police raided an office running 49 million fake accounts. So let me just show you what that looks like when they come to raid one of these fraudulent, and there are many of them, these fraudulent offices where they have hospices that there's no one there, or nurseries where there are no kids, or schools where there's nobody, or all this fraud. And that's what a post we read a few nights ago is. They cannot recover from this. This is their slush fund. And this is really feeding into the loosh. This is from Central Command, from the reptilian Canaanite parasite linked through Illuminati, through these people who channel these beings from fourth density, lower fourth density, into scamorama, scam the taxpayers out of zillions of dollars. Okay, so I want to show you what this looks like, what this raid looks like, because it's important. And then there's a couple other posts that really I think are stunning right now. So let's go to this. Let's see. How do I go there? Yeah. Let's go. All right. So let me go back to the beginning. Let me try that. Because I think the beginning is let's try that again. Let me see if I can do it again. They basically break down the door. That's the part I can't do it. If they come in and there's nobody there, billions of dollars of scam money. I'm not doing this stuff. Okay, so let me because it's just, I can't really get this the way I want to. But their scam, they have been, the scale of the scam could only come through, and I'm trying to put the dots together, this reptilian control. And I'm not saying any of this is like it's a hopeless case. I'm saying just the opposite. The fact that we know about this, the fact that we know that Pepe Orsini is the Gray Pope, any of this means it's over for the creeps. They are in the light and they cannot survive this. As Robert Steele would say, your only way is to make the deal, motherfucker. That's what Robert Steele says. I love that. I love that video. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm wondering what the surprise is in the bottom of my coffee. I think it's bits of chocolate nibs. Is it?
Yeah, cacao nibs.
Cacao nibs. Yeah. My partner's unbelievable. I'm just so lucky, man, to have such a partner. I can never express. Anyway, yeah, the Republic. So okay, so that's scam. Okay, let me show you these other posts. Hopefully, I'll do a better job. Oh yeah, before I get to the last post, let's go. Let's do the let's key up the Brad Garlinghouse. I want you to listen to this, and I want you to think about okay, I don't know if I can if I'll do any better job, but I want you to think about what has occurred with XRP? What has occurred with Bitcoin? What has occurred with our taxes? What has occurred with the banks and the banksters? And our whole civilization was directed by these Canaanite reptilian fiends in order to milk us dry and keep us in panic mode. So that's the difference for me personally. I'm being faced with eviction. It's a real thing, but I'm just like thinking to the harder they come at me, the more I'm seeing like, this is just going to be amazing. I mean, they took my job, they took my YouTube channel, and all of it will lead to such an aliyah, such a higher state that's how it feels to me. And that's probably how it will manifest, because I'm not feeling like, oh my God, it's all over for me. No, it's like, wow, man, I'm being launched into a higher state of awareness. Okay. So here, just watch this video and think about the scam, the out and out scam. I started buying XRP like around 2020 when I realized there was more to crypto than Bitcoin. I was like, well, what's this XRP? What's this XLM? These are interesting coins. And then I heard the digital asset investor. The digital asset investor has been putting out 3 or 4 or 5, like a ton of videos every day since 2020 and before. I just started listening. I discovered it, and he was like, buy XRP, buy XL, and he's been exposing for years. These fiends have been attacking the XRP community, and we are going to have our day. Okay, so world decentralized crypto adoption will unite humanity. I think so. I'm so lucky to have Daniela. Yeah, she is unbelievable, man. I mean, I was really choking on this honey. I ingested it. And when I stopped coughing, she said, let's go for a walk. You need a walk. It's just so sweet. No, who says that? So she looks after me like I'm a little baby. She's less than half my age. And she's like, you need a walk. I'm like, okay. I mean, we fight over who gets to do the dishes. That's the kind of, it's just an amazing relationship. But this came out of nowhere. That's what I'm saying. It's like when you least expect it. I'm going to go to a post with that, but let me just show you and just think about what Brad Garlinghouse is saying here. This is stunning. Okay, let me go. Let me see if I can cue this up and get it within reason. Okay, so watch this.
It just felt like there was this mysterious dark cloud, this headwind that we couldn't quite put a finger on. Like, where is this coming from? Like, why so much hate? And then Brad and I were exchanging notes with the Epstein files reveal of some of the
the Epstein files get a lot of attention down here? I agree with that, yeah. Well, so where Monica and I both experienced, Chris Larson, co-founder of Ripple, chairman of the company, a fabulous human being, and he's a bit of a conspiracy theorist. And that's fun and interesting sometimes, and sometimes you're like, huh? But one of the things that Chris has said for a long time, to Monica's point around it, it's always felt like there's just an invisible negative force kind of attacking in various ways. And you're kind of like, what is going on? And he had always said that Joey Ito, who ran the MIT Media Lab, had something out for XRP and for Ripple. And I admit I was always kind of like, look, I don't know if that's true or not, but like we got to keep building, we got to keep going, and like focus on what we can control. And as you may know, Gary Gensler ended up as part of the MIT Media Lab. Again, connecting those dots, connecting those dots. It's like saying Voldemort. Yeah. Anyway, so it's interesting because Chris always was a little conspiratorial about this stuff, and now that we have seen the public Epstein files, you're like, holy shit, he's kind of right. Mm-hmm. And now what's interesting about it, they were afraid of us. Mm-hmm. They were afraid of us because the technology was ahead of its time, and it was a threat. And they were trying to do things to, put pressure on it. And again, I don't think I totally appreciated in the earliest days how prescient some of Chris's concerns were about that stuff. But in retrospect, it was real.
Yeah, Chris used to always tell me, hey, people are hating on you. You're onto something big. And I was like, we're onto something massive. There's a lot of hate out there.
Okay, I think that is a stunning example of people putting connecting the dots. Like he said, Bitcoin was to be laundered. Immortal actors as McAfee was the free computers to every politician, right? Yeah. So I'm lucky to have Danielle. They live Center Realm Atlantis off the northwest coast of Africa. Consult full moon map. Could very well be. I certainly don't have information on that level, but Epstein was a Satoshi Nakamoto. Now Downing controls 8% of Bitcoin. Yeah. Okay. So it's insane good news. Follow the money. Okay. So it's all coming together. The pieces of the puzzle are all coming together. July 4th, the election, Jassara election, could be 120 days. It will be on blockchain, the election. Trump talks about the biggest election, how big this is. The Republic, right? The Republic is imminent. It's already here. It never went, but it'll be re-inhabited. Make sure you join up and take part. I'm having such a good time. We're reading reading all these things on the courthouse steps about maritime law, about people being captured under maritime law without their knowledge. Most people have no clue about this, that we're operating under maritime law, which is completely bizarro and not legal by any standard. They're being replaced, as Susan Kokinda says. The whole British model is based on satanic reptilian forces. The whole thing is it's huge, and you think of Tartaria. It's like we had a perfect world here. We used technology, we used Tesla and more technology. We had free energy, and they stole everything to put us in this like lack world, in this debt slavery world, which we could never escape. But it is coming to an end. And the more they pressure, like Brad Garlinghouse says, that we must be massive, because they put so much pressure on XRP. I lost hundreds of thousands of XRP coins because I was freaked out, and I was susceptible to being scammed. 300,000. I lost. They said, you got to, I thought it was a friend of mine telling me, you got to get it off of Coinbase right away, because Coinbase, they created this fear. Anyway, that hopefully when things are put to rights, they'll find out what happened to it. It's on the blockchain. They know exactly who got it. I filed with the FBI. It's just the FBI doesn't want to do the right thing. So hopefully it'll come back. But that's another thing. But the whole thing is, with all this attack, and it's not just XRP. It's like us losing our jobs because we didn't want to get vaccinated. It's me losing my YouTube channel because I didn't want to not mention that the vaccine. Plastic bottles. I mean, come on, it's in your face. This is evil incarnate. John Rockefeller was just probably the useful idiot for these creepazoids, these reptilian savages who eat us. And they look disgusting and they smell bad. And the rocks out here, I'm convinced, they rocks just don't. How did that happen? It was probably blown to smithereens by who knows what. Okay, so let me read this last post, and then we'll do a tune. If anybody has any favorites, let me know. I still want Donald Trump as president for the Republic. Yeah, I don't think that's out of the question. I don't know if he would want to be. I could see Barron being the president. I mean, I think Barron's got a lot going for him. They say he's like the one behind everything. He looked like a demon, John Rockefeller. Absolutely, 100%. Okay, so let's look at this last post. It is, I think, from what I remember, it's a stunning way to end this connecting the dots sort of session. Okay, so that was I love this Q Bakery, right? Yeah, here we go. All right, let's try this one out first. See if if I remember it being really cool. Nothing is a coincidence, especially stuff that seems like it's really bad. Like that's what I'm saying. Like in retrospect, I look back in my career in the Department of Education as a model for, they went after me with everything all the time. And every time an assistant principal would be like, all right, Weber, we got you this time. You're screwed. You're out of here. I know because they knew I was hip to them. Every time, suddenly that assistant principal was sent to another school or whatever. I mean, and it just would happen over and over again. So I know this guy, with the thing with I'm not going to take all these penalties off, and you're going to have to, it's just like you're just feeding into your own demise, right? Okay, so nothing is a coincidence. No one crosses your path by chance. That's why I feel like I'm going through an elevation right now. I'm becoming a higher level business person than I was. I wanted to work for the Department of Education because I didn't want to do business anymore, because I was a contractor for 20 years. And I was like, I just want a paycheck every week. And then after 20 years of that, you didn't want to get vaccinated, so I lost that. But it wasn't anything like I thought it was, like, oh, I'll just get a paycheck. No, they made me sweat for that paycheck. It was just as bad as being a contractor, where I had, these rich people going like, well, I know I owe you $20,000, but there's a slight scratch on the paint job you did. And I just contacted a lawyer, and we're not gonna pay you that last. This is what I was dealing with as a contractor, and then I figured, well, I'll become a school teacher and give to people, right? And then it was even worse. It was like, Weber, we think you are, we caught you trying to educate kids again, and you're in big trouble, buddy. And they would constantly send me for professional development. And then they would ask me, well, what do you think? And if I said what I really thought, you're going to the principal. You got to talk to the principal. You get another letter. I'm just like, what is this? Anyway, nothing is a coincidence. And when something seems difficult, it's just a hidden blessing. It's a blessing that's so powerful it can't come to you easy, right? No one crosses your path by chance. Some arrive as mirrors, some as medicine, some as messengers you won't recognize until the lesson lands. Every encounter shifts something: belief, a boundary, a version of you that needed to die or be reborn. Like me. The timing is never random. The soul orchestrates what the mind can't explain. So pay attention to who appears when you think you're done growing. They might be the reminder or remainder, like what's left over, the shrine, the little bit that you haven't figured out, the trigger, or the key that unlocks the next door. But this goes for everything. This goes for, not just who crosses your path, but what thoughts enter your mind, what you think about, what you're feeling. All these things are not, in my opinion, from being a metacognitive nerd for many years, not many years, but let's say in the last, certainly since COVID, I've been aware of my thoughts and my feelings. I was still working for the Department of Education after they just cloistered me. They hid me in the basement somewhere. But anyway, okay, so that's it. So nothing happens by chance. Everything is a message. That's what the Baal Shem Tov, a great sage in Yiddishkeit, he said that a leaf does not go from this to this. And you don't notice a leaf going like this if there's not a personal message to you from creation itself. A president is the head of a corporation. The U.S. is no longer a corporation, right? Okay, so let's okay, I'm a little behind you. Haley, can we have Leaving the Matrix Hope? Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Thank you so much for asking.
Living in the city, I was paying down my bills. One flat tire and the whole thing went to hell. Credit cards for groceries, I'm deep in debt again. It's time to split this scene, walk with you, my friend. Leaving the Matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the Matrix, we're heading for the promised land. Stopped paying taxes, your insurance I don't need. The medicines are killing us, hospitals grow like weeds. Move into paradise, I don't need no gassy cars. Fake news, endless wars, a satanic legal bar. Leaving the Matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the Matrix, heading for the promised land. My friends all tell me I lost control. Left my wife and job just to run down rabbit holes. But I can tell you one thing about my fall. Where we go one, we go all. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. Leaving the matrix, we're heading for the promised land.
So when you connect all the dots, it's happening. XRP, the creeps are running, the rats are scrambling. I mean, out here, I've been catching, I caught 3 mice so far. I'm taking a night off just because I wanted to share this. After I kill the mice out here, they don't look like Brooklyn mice. They're not scary. I don't have a problem taking them out of the trap. In Brooklyn, I'd be like, it's like, get that thing out of here. But these mice, so I'm taking a night off. But I want to just show you that I put the mice out on our big lot, and a road runner came up and grabbed it. I was like, Danielle, look, there's a road runner eating the mouse. So, okay. So up here, everything gets, no scraps. It's kind of like they talk about in the rainforest, that a drop of water will come down, or no, a leaf will fall down. But by the time it goes through the tundra or whatever it is, the layers of life in the rainforest, it is toast. I mean, this one gets a little nibble, this one takes a piece, this one, and by the time it doesn't hit the ground, that's kind of like the desert. Everything is there's, if there's a drop of water, man, they all know about it, and it's public knowledge. Anyway, you all should be proud of yourselves. You should be happy. You should be that we are coming into a higher density. We will be able to manifest and not worry, not let people get us scared. I mean, like, we're faced with, this thing, and it's just like, hey, man, I know it's going to work out. I don't have any doubt in my mind that it's going to work out, and it'll be fine. And not only will it work out, but it will end up in a better situation somehow. So may the force be with you. May you realize that you have the force. You can use the force, which is just your general feeling about it. You can I was talking to Norman about this, that manifestation happens. You do everything you can to get something, and then the key part of manifestation, the hardest part, is just to forget about it and just give up. And that's when it, and you stop thinking about it, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I tried so hard, and now there it is. So anyway, but everyone should just have a great day and enjoy this incredible transformation. And like Brad Garling says, just start to connect the dots between Tartaria and the Nephilim, the Reptilians, and all this information, all this predictive programming that we've been watching, Stranger Things and all this. We're coming to the end of it. Maybe July 4th, they'll announce the election. Let's hope. I hope Nancy's right. So let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock the world.